We don't talk enough about how emotional wounds can have a lasting impact in our adult relationships. These wounds could be caused by abuse, neglect, or emotional instability in a home. Maybe you grew up in a home where feelings were not safe, so you never talked about your feelings, or there was just so much turmoil, you never saw a healthy resolution. I want you to ask yourself right now, how do you think that impacts your adult relationship? That's why today we're going to talk about 5 ways you can heal your wounded inner child and open your heart to real love this year. For more tips on how to take charge of your love life, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Childhood emotional wounds can affect us in so many ways that if we leave it unattended, it will stop us from falling in love, stop us from being vulnerable, and just keep us plain stuck. There are ways for you to open up, be more vulnerable, and build a connection, but it starts with you healing your inner child wounds first. The first step is for you to acknowledge and uncover your inner child wounds. This means going back into those areas that maybe you have shame, maybe you have, judgment around, and really learning to sit with it and process the information. Maybe you were bullied as a child and you were told that you were never good enough, that you'd be lucky to find anyone. As an adult, you realize it's nonsense to believe that, but unconsciously, that belief is sitting in the back of your mind, running the show. Every time you get to a point where something is going really well, all of a sudden that belief pops up and your insecurity starts showing and you start getting nervous and you don't show up as your authentic self. Working inner child wounds on your own is a really hard task. I highly recommend working with a professional or a therapist or somebody to coach you and support you. The second thing I want you to do is reparent your inner child. So something that we do subconsciously is that we use our parent's voice to parent ourselves as an adult. And what we need to do is realize that we're an adult now. We don't need to use our parent's voice. We can actually reprogram that voice to be more loving, caring. If you had a critical parent, if you had a parent that was judgmental, or just one that just neglected you, well, guess what? Now you can say, I don't want to parent myself with that voice anymore. I'm going to use a much more compassionate voice that says, you're doing great. I love you. You're an amazing person. Don't give up. And talk to yourself as you would talk to somebody you love. The third thing I want you to do is practice self-compassion. How do you treat yourself when you make a mistake? Do you beat yourself up? Do you tell yourself that you're stupid? Do you talk down to yourself? If you're doing that, stop it. It's so important for you to be kind to yourself. So what I want you to practice doing is reframing those statements. Instead of saying, I'm stupid, no, that's not true. This is a mistake that everyone makes and it's okay. I'll figure it out. Or if you're saying, oh my gosh, why did you do something like that? You totally embarrassed yourself. Be the friend to yourself and say, hey, it's okay. You did the best you could. Next time, do better. It's fine. So your inner narrative needs to start with kindness, thoughtfulness, and self-compassion on a daily basis. The fourth thing I'd like for you to do is connect with your inner child. I know it sounds strange to actually connect with your inner child, but it's important for you to do so because it helps you build a relationship with a part of you that maybe hasn't been heard or seen in for a long time. So close your eyes and I want you to imagine that child version of yourself. And I want you to go in and ask that version what it needs from you. And listen to it. Let it be heard. If it says, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling lonely, or I'm just having a really bad day, go in and imagine hugging your inner child, comforting your inner child, saying the things that it needs to hear so that it can feel loved. And the more that you spend time with that inner child, the more confidence it will build. And then therefore, this part of you will feel nurtured and loved and actually help you feel more grounded inside. The fifth step is for you to set healthy boundaries. Boundaries are about setting limits and communicating your needs in a healthy way. It's so important to take time to reevaluate your relationships. Are there certain friendships or people in your life that are draining your energy, that are triggering your inner child? Set boundaries and be upfront with your expectations and needs. It acts as a filtering system to see whether someone belongs in your life or not. If this person consistently crosses boundaries and triggers your inner child, you need to reevaluate that relationship and ask yourself, is it worth it? Is this person a real relationship, or is it some type of trauma bond that's making me stay? I get it. Healing your inner child is a very difficult process. It takes a lot of patience, kindness, and compassion to really process the inner child wounds. If you're finding yourself stuck and blocked where you can't open up and be vulnerable, and you need support on healing these inner child wounds, visit me at amythedatingcoach.com. I have private coaching and live workshops to help support you in healing those wounds and opening your heart to the love you really deserve. If you have any comments and questions, please leave them below. I do reply. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.